Hello, it is I, Darth Blint, and it is Monday, March the whatever. And congratulations to Jed Rock. You will be getting your code for your free saber by the end of this today. The reason why a video didn't come out this morning is because, well, we are traveling. Why are we traveling when we're supposed to be isolated? A few reasons. I have to get some papers that I can only pick up in person from Southwestern Community College because I used to go there and I don't anymore, and they are tax forms, so they won't send them to my regular email because I don't have a SEC secured email anymore. So I have to go pick them up in person. 2, I'm getting my handgun permits, and 3, I'm gonna go buy some handguns. And I will show you guys them later today. This is basically going to be a video of the life in Darth Blink's The Last Adventure Out for 2 months. Also, Animal Crossing came out. I've seen a lot of reviews. Surprisingly, it has sold better than Pokemon. Crazy, right? So yeah, if any of you guys a Switch out there, pop your friend codes down below. Let's hang out on the Switch, buy Terraria. I need some more people in my Terraria world. But yeah, so we're heading out, and I will see you guys later. Wish me luck. Also, welcome back. I'm thinking about starting an online D&D campaign. If any of you guys want to enter my online D&D campaign, add me on Facebook. It's Justice Ammons, capital J, capital A, Justice, space Ammons. Last night I was playing a short campaign with my friend, and I played as a what are those? What are they called? A little, not an orc, not a golem, a little goblin. Yeah. And so my character woke up in a cave, right? Had no idea who he was or whatever. And had amnesia, of course, you know, because, yeah, beginning of D&D campaign. And then my character was walking in this cave, and he has 2 spells, like a basic fighting spell, and then he's got like a light spell. So I use a light spell. I'm going through the cave, and I keep hearing water, so I walk towards the water because it's the only thing going on here. And I get to the water, and there's like a blue light coming from it. And then there's, I hear the sound of like humming. So I'm like, hello? Gribble here. Gribble here sound. Gribble need help. And then the sound disappears. And then I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to jump into the water at the bottom of this waterfall. I jump in. And then all of a sudden I realize that I didn't know how to swim. So Gribble starts to drown. Then Gribble gets sucked under a waterfall and spit out the other side, where Gribble sees a mermaid. And then Gribble raises his hand and waves and says, "Hi, I'm Gribble." And then the mermaid runs away. So Gribble walks out of the cave and goes onto the beach. And Gribble finds some seashells and licks the seashells because Gribble don't know anything. And plus, I knew this would aggravate my DM if I did this enough because I know him so well. And so I thought it was funny just because I knew it would aggravate him. And so I was like, Gribble licks the seashell. And he's like, it tastes like a shell. Like, Gribble likes the taste of shell. And then, so I continued doing that. It's like, oh, you see a crab. Gribble licks the crab. It tastes like a crab. Gribble likes the taste of crab. So I fought a crab and I beat it. And then I came up to this old shack. And went to the shack. And then I had a flint in my pocket. So I take off my rags, and I have just like underwear on, and I put them underneath the pot, and I catch them on fire, and then I look around the room and realize that there's firewood. So then Gribble puts firewood under fire where he burnt his clothes, and everything in his pocket except for his flints because he forgot to empty his pockets. So then Gribble burns his tongue. Well, Gribble finds a knife. Gribble licks the knife. And then he cuts his tongue. So Gribble licks the pot to try to stop the bleeding. Burns his tongue. Gribble eats the crab. And Gribble falls asleep. The next day, Gribble wakes up. And Gribble goes walking off into the woods. And whenever me and my friends play D&D, our goal is to try to get off rails as much as humanly possible. If we're just doing a small campaign, but we can do serious campaigns too. Trust me, we've done those as well. And the one I'm wanting to start on Facebook is a serious D&D campaign, and so I would be more than happy to have you guys join. So Gribble goes off into the woods. Gribble walks for a couple hours, and Gribble sees a split in the path, left and right. So Gribble says he goes right down the middle in the woods, and Gribble go down middle in the woods. And then Gribble finds a random shop out in the middle of the woods. Gribble go and shop. Gribble trade his flanks for 1 gold piece, and then Gribble, or not a gold piece, but 3 rations. So Gribble holding 3 rations while in underwear. Gribble go walking around the woods. Gribble get lost. Gribble come up to a valley. Gribble see giant bird. Turns out to be eagle that's like wingspan is 10 feet across. Gribble run away and hide. Gribble find camp. Gribble falls asleep in abandoned camp. Gribble wake up. Gribble randomly runs through the woods, trying to find light before the light comes, before the sun comes up, so that Gribble can try to find a town or something. Gribble sees light. Gribble go to town. Gribble goes to bar because, of course, I mean tavern, because, you know, where else is Gribble going to go? And this is a human town, and everyone's, like, upset because I'm not a human, you know. And I go in there and I'm like, hey, can Gribble work here? Gribble needs a job. And they're like, no, you can't work here, but go to the barber doctor. And they tell me where the barber doctor is. And I go there, knock on the door, and the barber doctor opens up the door and is like, well, who are you? And I was like, Gribble feel uncomfortable. Gribble run away. And he grabs Gribble and he throws him inside. And then he's like, yeah, you can work here. I give you 1 gold a day to sweep the floors. Because when I cut hair and do surgery. So someone comes in, gets their hair cut, Gribble sweeps it into a hole. And then I was like, Gribble gonna jump into a hole. And then the DM starts laughing uncontrollably. He's like, are you sure? And I'm like, no, Gribble changed mine. Gribble no jumping hole. And then Gribble shines his light spell down hole. It's like off in the distance in the hole, you see 2 lights looking, or 2 eyeballs looking back at you, glowing in the dark. I'm like, oh yeah, Gribble glad he no jumping hole. So then I have to hold someone down during surgery while they're getting teeth extracted. And then I get an extra gold for that because I was like, hey, I was paid just to sweep, not to help you with surgery. So then I'm like, Gribble needs to use the bathroom. So he tells me where the outhouse is. I leave and I never go back because basically anytime I tried to leave, he would pull me back in. So I was like, I'm getting out of here. So then Gribble goes to Gribble goes to the street and starts dancing. He does little dances and people start throwing coppers at him. And so while he's dancing in his underwear, you know, and so I get like 30 extra coppers. And then Gribble goes back to tavern. Gribble buys big beer. Gribble gets drunk and pass out. Gribble wake up and Gribble have hangover. Gribble goes and finds a tailor. Gribble gets a wonderful, amazing sorcerer robe made for 2 gold, which gives me +5 to every spell. Which for a level 1 sorcerer, that's a big buff. And it also gives me 2 large pockets to put things in. So I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. And it was red, it looks cool, and it went with my character. And so then I went back to the bar because I had 25 coppers left. And I was like, hey, Gribble want no things to bet on. They're like, yeah, we have drinking competitions. I'm like, well, Gribble small, Gribble no win. I'm like, we also do snail races. And I was like, great, Gribble goes to fight snail. So I found a snail, and then I tied a rock to it to train it. And as I was training it, I accidentally squished it with a rock. So I kept looking for another snail, and I found a big snail. I mean, we're talking about like humongous snail. And because I crit rolled it. And so I took it back in there to race. And I bet all 25 copper on my dude. And then I lost. And then I was like double or nothing. So we raced again and I lost again. And then they stole my robe. And so Gribble got mad because Gribble said triple or nothing. And so after they stole my robe, I started getting angry, and I used my like a basic magic spell on there. And basically it was like a weakened magic missile. And the guy like kicked me out like a football, punted me like a little football because I was like 2 feet tall out the door. So I got pissed off, and I started using my spell on him again, and eventually I accidentally blew his head off because, you know, reasons. And then I went in there and I was like, Gribble, what robe? And then I ended up getting arrested. And then I was like, I'm screwed at this point. So they threw Gribble into jail cell. And Gribble asked the DM, "Is there anyone else in there?" He goes, "Yes, there's a skeleton of what looks like a human body." And so then I went back into character. I was like, "Hey, Gribble have to tell you a story of how Rogue was stolen. Do you want to hear Gribble's story?" And he goes, "The skeleton just is a skeleton." Great, Gribble tell you a story of how Rogue was stolen. And then, so basically I went through the whole story. And then it was like, it's been a week later. And then it was like, you go in front of the court. And I was like, great, Gribble in front of court. And they're like, can you explain to yourself why you killed this guy? And I was like, yes, Gribble will tell you the story of how Gribble's robe was stolen. I went through the entire adventure, explaining for like 8 minutes in real time of everything that had happened and how Gribble's robe was stolen. They sentenced me to death. So I go back into a jail cell. And at this point, I was just messing with the DM because I knew I was screwed. So when I went back in the jail cell, a different one, I was like, is there anyone else in here? There's 2 skeletons. I was like, great. I was like, hey, you guys want to hear the story of how Gribble got his robe stolen? And they were like, yes. Or no, they were like, and he goes, they're just a couple of skeletons. They don't respawn. Great, Gribble tell you a story of how Gribble's robe was stolen. So in real time, I spent another 8 minutes telling the exact same story again. And then he's like, oh God, another week passes. And he's like, now you're going to the gallows. And then they take you to the gallows, and Gribble's upset. And then they said, any last words, Gribble? And I was like, yes, Gribble have last words. Gribble tell you the story of how Gribble got his robe stolen. And so Gribble told the story of how Gribble got his robe stolen. And then they chopped off Gribble's head. And that was the end of Gribble. It was a really sad adventure. Gribble got his robe stolen. And then Gribble blew some guy's head off. And then Gribble ended up getting his head removed off. So I just felt like sharing that. But yeah, if any of you guys want to join a online D&D campaign, I'm looking for like 4 to 6, no more than 6 people. Trying to get this going, and I'll probably be recording it to post onto here once a week. But so I figure since we're all going to be at home self-isolating, let's do it. Let's have some fun. Let's do some D&D. And yeah, so I will be back later. We're pulling up at the police station now, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Okay, so I stopped recording while we were out, but I'm going to give you guys an update of what happened. I'm eating a peanut butter Oreo. So, went to the place, filled out for my gun permits. It's going to take a couple of weeks for those to get in. Went ahead and bought the ammunition for them because ammunition is scarce. Bought 50 rounds of Colt 45 and some more 410 shells, 2.5 M3s. Spent $80 in ammo. While we were in there, they closed down Cherokee. But I mean closed down, they put up barriers where people can't go in and out of Cherokee, North Carolina. And which is literally literally a town over. So I was like, start freaking out a little bit. We went to 2 different Walmarts. We managed to find everything we needed. Most of it we found in Ingalls though. And came back home, took off all my clothes and showered, sanitized everything. Door handles, doorknobs, light switches, fridge, freezer. If there's a knob on something, I wiped it down with Clorox wipes, okay? And then, so, disinfected. There's multiple cases here now. And, got a crap ton of food. The only reason we have to leave the house now or for this Wednesday, or one day this week, we're going to get our concealed carry. It's a 1-day class. And then I gotta get my medicine tomorrow. And I gotta get Artemis some more food. I forgot to do that today. I'll probably do that when I get my medicine for our food medicine tomorrow. And then they go pick up my permits and my gun. But my handguns. I processed for 5 handgun permits because they're good for 5 years, and you can process up to 5 at a time. It's cheaper that way, so I thought I might as well. Peanut butter Oreos. Dang, these are good. So word of the day: barrier. Enter that in for 2 chances into the next drawing. Also, don't forget, Friday we're going to be doing the live stream for the new Clone Wars. Now I'm getting ready to send in my tax forms, and then once I get those sent in, I'm going to purchase that Ultra Saber thing while I'm cooking some dinner, the gift card, and I'm going to send that over to the winner. Congratulations again, dude. You seem really cool. And yeah, so this Friday it's going to be a live stream, and basically we can just watch it together while we talk about it on live stream. I'm going to have it playing in the background while we go through it, the newest season of the Clone Wars. Alright, you guys are awesome. I appreciate every single one of you, and you guys are what makes this so cool. Thank you. To touch the Darth Blunt, and may your chains be broken.